Jumping rules in D&D 5e. Everyone's favorite topic, right? Definitely not. They're almost as unknown as mounted combat rules. But knowing how far high you can or can't jump can be the difference between life and death. Jumping in D&D is different for every monster and character, and it's not as intuitive as you might think. Lots of people don't know how jumping in 5e works. Of course, you could just look on page 182 and 190 of the player's handbook and we could merely regurgitate what it says there. But where's the fun in that? Instead, let me tell you a story from my own campaign where the character's ability to jump literally saved their figurative imaginary lives. If you hate stories, well, I'll be honest, I'm kinda confused why you like Dungeons & Dragons. But if you love shared storytelling and being inspired by epic moments of others, then here we go. Echoes of steel continue to ring throughout the stone courtyard as the bloody skirmish comes to an end. The warlock, bard, paladin, and echo knight fighter stand amidst the wreckage, breathing heavily as the adrenaline wears off. They stand over the bodies of the guards, as well as the corpses of strange human hybrid monstrosities, all strewn across the courtyard of Castle Waldenstein. The battle was a tense fight. The echo knight dueled a personal close friend from his academy days in the courtyard, echoes flashing as weapons were slashing. Meanwhile, the paladin, parrying strikes with his massive executioner's sword, secured their escape at the gate. All as warlock and bard took care of the guards stationed along the walls before assisting with the eldritch horrors that streamed from the stables. Catching their breath, the party scans the grounds, searching for any sign of the artificer who had unleashed the horrific monsters upon them, themselves the results of his cruel experiments. Alright everyone, roll a perception check. 9. 3. 16! 24! The warlock and the paladin spot him in the tower above them, his black cloak blowing in the wind and a wicked grin stretched across his face. He pulls a red lever before quickly waving a wand and dimension dooring away. The earth seems to stand still as they wait for the effect. At first, all they feel is a tremor, a mere quivering throughout the rock and mortar. But soon, the minor vibrations crescendo. The ground beneath their feet tremble and the walls and towers shake. Rather than merely collapsing, they begin to contract. All along the ring of the fortress, new centers of magic warp mass and create wells of gravity. The shaking pulls each stone deeper within the surface. Wait, so it's not a self-destruct bomb?
I mean, it kinda sorta still is. And there's no way he created black holes.
Yeah, that would be like a 300th level spell slot. No, but the castle is imploding. What now? The castle was imploding. The gatehouse was the first to fall, the conjured gravity magic wreaking havoc upon the already withered beams. The obvious way out was reduced to an impassable heap. The bard, who had been inspiring and supporting from the ramparts, had the easiest escape. Casting a desperate glance at his companions, he screamed, "To the river!" and without hesitation launches himself into a swirling stream below.
So I come down on the steps on the other side. Is there a ladder on the southern wall?
No. On the far side from you there are some stairs, but your direct approach has a cart next to the wall.
How much higher is the wall from the cart?
Another 6 feet, maybe?
Can I climb on the cart and then jump to get to the ledge?
What's your strength modifier?
+2.
Ooh, it's a stretch. Make an athletics check.
15?
The warlock follows suit, dashing across the rumbling courtyard, climbing on the cart, and sprinting to the ledge. She pulls herself up and tumbles over the ledge down into the water. They both resurface downstream, gasping for breath, but relieved to have escaped the collapsing fortress. As the paladin races towards the east wall, he turns to speak to the Echo Knight, but finds him absent. He glances up to the ramparts, see if he swapped places with an incarnation on the walls. Nothing. So he turns around and witnesses a heartbreaking sight. With the fury of combat faded, the Echo Knight's heart is filled with sorrow. Despite the crumbling citadel, he remains motionless, kneeling beside the corpse of his long-lost love, consumed by confusion and anguish. What's your character thinking?
I mean, not great.
Yeah, I bet.
On the same day he discovers the empire he has served his whole life is experimenting on humans, he also watches the one that got away, get impaled and freaking die. He's kinda devastated. His world is falling apart and he's not exactly great with emotions.
Roll a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Dude.
It makes sense, given the circumstances and all.
8.
The Echo Knight can't tear his gaze away from the lifeless body lying at his feet. Memories of their past, the good times and the heartbreak, flood back into his mind. Grief washes over him, blinding him to the chaos around him.
How far away is he?
About 50 feet, so you could reach him, but you'd have to try to shake him awake.
Could I yell to get his attention?
You can try, though the DC will be pretty high given all the noise in his state.
Okay, what role would that be?
Persuasion?
I mean, it's kind of like intimidation, too, right? That could work?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Alright, I'm gonna roll for intimidation. Yeah! 24!
Alright. What do you say? In the midst of the painful haze, the Echo hears the Paladin's commanding voice break through the cacophony, screaming,
We gotta move! We gotta move! It's coming down! We gotta move now!
urging them on forward. As the Paladin's cries pierce the deafening noise, the Echo Knight's training kicks in and his laser focus returns. Reluctantly, he tears his gaze away after snatching a small necklace, a new memento to remember her by. He stands, gathers himself, and in a moment assesses his situation for the first time. One by one, towers and walls gave in to the relentless pressure, collapsing inward with a deafening crash. He's in luck. The east and southeast towers remain standing. If he can reach the southern wall, he can maybe leap into the river and join his now far downstream friends. He races to his right and in one swift motion, summons his Echo to the top of the wall and switches places with his ethereal self. The Paladin and the Echo Knight sprint as fast as they can across the teetering, cracking rock, though it is not easy. The crumbling walls are uneven, difficult terrain, threatening to engulf them at any moment. The Paladin reaches the edge first, and notices that unlike the southwest wall, it is not a straight drop off. They'll have to really leap. Perched on the edge of the wall, he turns to witness disaster. The eastern tower begins to implode, with the Echo Knight directly beneath it. The stone lifts from the causeway, tripping the Echo Knight and sending him hurtling into a free fall. In a split second, the Echo Knight finds himself swallowed by chaos, dragged down amidst the rubble and enveloped by darkness.
So, what would the falling damage be?
Well, it's only 20 feet, so 2d6 bludgeoning damage, but the falling rock is going to be another 3d6.
You still up?
Yeah, I'm good. I didn't take too much damage.
But also, you're blinded and restrained, and with all the stone, it's going to be one hell of an athletics check to get you out on your own. The Echo Knight's heart pounds in his chest. For all his professional career, he could trust to escape from any tight space by manifesting his Echo into the open. But beneath the stony debris, he can't move or see, and he can barely breathe. He is trapped within the crushing rubble. With each passing second, Carver's desperate attempts to escape grow more frantic. His hands claw at the debris, but any space he makes is filled with more stone. He tried to yell, but dirt filled his throat. He tried to move, but the weight of the collapsing castle pressed down on him.
Damn, so, like if I try to help him, will I get sucked into the gravity well?
No, it's not that strong yet. It's enough to severely weaken the supports, but living matter can still resist it. What spell is this? Don't worry about it. So it's magic BS. I said don't worry about it.
So it'll just make strength checks a lot harder?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like 15 feet ahead now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I run over and I try to lift the rocks off of him.
Resisting the effects of the imploding pull, the paladin takes a deep breath and braces himself for the strength test of his life. The weight is staggering. He summons every ounce of strength within him, muscles straining, heart beating in panic. With a roar of righteous anger born from complete devotion, he manages to barely lift the huge boulder, moving it just a foot or two. He could never recover his friend in time. As the boulder lifted, a tiny sliver of light fell upon the Echo Knight, revealing a flag still blowing in the wind. That was enough. Hope instantly restored. He manifested his echo up to the flag and switches places. The paladin is shocked when his friend suddenly topples down on him. He was gasping for air, bruised and battered, covered in dirt, but he was alive. And without a moment to spare, the castle continued to crumble around them. The remaining walls and towers swayed precariously, their foundations weakened by the relentless assault of destruction. The paladin and the Echo Knight lock eyes for a split second before making haste for the southern castle wall. They weave past the stones that fly up from the guard towers around them. They dodge falling debris as it rains down from the collapsing southeast tower. The roar of destruction filled their ears, drowning out all other sounds, fueling their every step.
Okay, so we just fall?
Not exactly. The other side of the southern wall is a sheer cliff. This side has a bit of a slope.
So we have to jump for it. Action movie style.
Hell yeah.
Well, okay. How far can we jump?
Wait. I just checked my watch and realized that I'm out of time. I won't be able to finish the whole story in this video, so I'll have to break it into 2 parts. I know, cliffhangers. But it won't be gone long. If you want to hear the rest of the story, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss part 2. But for now, I must go. See you next time. Awesome dice.